Bengaluru-based startup Elda Health, a one-stop digital femtech health startup catering to women during their midlife, menopausal and perimenopausal years, has released a report titled State of Menopausal Health in India. Now, the study reveals startling statistics showing that 98% of women in their menopausal age largely only visit gynecologists for heavy bleeding and vaginal discharge issues, while period-related symptoms such as hot flashes, sexual health concerns and mental health issues often go unaddressed. Joining us now to discuss this further and the growth roadmap for Elda Health is its co-founder and CEO, Swati Kulkarni. Swati, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. And like I just said, there's obviously a huge stigma around women and menopause, with many afraid to even get help. Firstly, take us through the symptoms women go through around menopause and what are the big challenges that they face in getting help. How bad can the situation get if it's not treated properly and in a timely manner?
Arundhati, thank you for having me here. I think it's a big problem. I mean, menopause is not a choice. Every woman will go through menopause. Pregnancy can be a choice. So we need to celebrate this phase and ensure that all the women who are going through this are actually comfortable. Menopause comes with over 43 odd symptoms. There are issues that are psychological, physiological, urogenital, and many a times these are actually ignored. There are 1 billion women globally who are going through this, 150 million in India themselves. Like you mentioned, as a part of our report where we have 25,000 qualitative data and very in-depth data of our women, we realized that women were coming to us with symptoms that they never went to their gynecologist. I think there's a huge gap in terms of awareness. That is what Elda Health is trying to sort of look at. We treat our women through a holistic sort of an approach. We take care of the gynac needs, the mental health needs, as well as the fitness and nutrition needs.
Right. So
we've also got specific data about symptoms that can be solved. You sort of alluded about sexual health and mental health issues. That's a really big deal for us because though 24% of our women go through sexual health issues, 70% of our women are going through some sort of mental health issues, mood swings, sudden tearfulness, or just, anger. Very few, single-digit percentage of these women actually solve for these issues. They only wanted to solve for either sort of overweight or issues that are more period-related.
Right. So you're giving them a holistic approach to dealing with their menopausal issues. So explain to me how you at Elda Health are addressing these menopausal needs for women. What do you have on offer? If you could quickly tell us what's the product pipeline that you've built, and also which offering are you seeing the most demand for at this point in time?
So I think we believe in an absolutely holistic healthcare approach, like I mentioned. The first step is awareness. Like in any case, we need to make women aware that menopause is a phase of life and it comes with all symptoms. They do not need to endure it. They need to enjoy this phase. So our awareness sessions happen both directly to customers. We also work with 25 companies and are working with a number of pivot, path-breaking companies going forward in terms of making employees as well as our customers aware. The second part is basically explaining to them what their healthcare interventions are. So we have digital subscriptions on our app, which directly the customer can use or use via the employer's app that is provided, where the patient or the woman can self-manage their symptoms. The third part is where our experts like doctors, nutritionists, therapists, all of them come together to solve for the problems. We want to stay true to the word that we are a full stack healthcare company. So we've also recently launched our 100% natural supplement products that are now available on our Elda website. These products were curated and designed by our menopause specialists as well as senior product researchers. They were taken based on the symptoms that our 70,000 odd women have sort of told us that they suffer from.
Right.
So our approach is holistic, our approach is scientific, but we never sort of ignore the path of real science and real care or empathy that needs to be given to our women.
Right. Are you today seeing more women willing to get help? What's the typical order value for you and what are your top markets? Are you seeing any sort of a push in tier 2 cities and beyond as well when it comes to menopausal health?
So I think there is definitely a huge difference, in the way people were sort of looking at menopause 2 years ago. We'd like to take a little credit for that. Today, Elda Health is a household name for all women who are going through menopause. I think the awareness part has really sort of worked. And we'd request all corporates, the entire society to sort of lean in to get to that stage. What we see is that when you go to the US and the UK, you see a lot of these, healthcare services and products available very easily. In India, we are the top leaders in the menopause space. We want to break that entire taboo around menopause and say, hey, ageism is related to wisdom. Ageism is related to something that you can do at any point in time, right? So if you're 40 and 50, you have the rest of your life remaining, another half that you need to enjoy. So I would say that in our healthcare services and products, people typically opt for this holistic approach and do not like to cherry pick one or two. And also, if you look at science, it is very important to treat every aspect of your health. So taking care of mental health, taking care of physical health, while yoga is the most easy and interesting, intervention for people to take, I think this holistic health approach is what has really shown us 85% and over, above that health outcomes for our customers.
All right. And if you could just throw some light on your revenues at this point, what are you currently making and where do you hope to end this year? And what are the future growth targets that you've set for yourself?
I wouldn't be able to talk about direct revenue numbers, but I can surely say this, that we are absolutely on path of looking at 1 million women, going through this phase and other issues in the next 3 years. This can be achieved and will be achieved directly through customers as well as through our corporates and employees. We see a consistent 85% and above health outcomes, which means any woman who comes to us has more than 85% probability of improving her biomarkers, improving her patient-reported outcome measures. And I would say we've just scratched the surface of menopausal treatment in India and abroad.
All right, so we've just scratched the surface of treating menopausal women. All right, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We're completely out of time, but we wish you all the best going forward.
Thank you so much, and happy World Menopause Day to all of you.
Thank you, and same to you as well. On that note, it is time for us to head into